confined, mind of steel and heart redefined. Rhetoric sharp, leaving dust behind. In Stef's world, truth is intertwined. Stef don't play, she holds the line, shouting from the rooftops across the digital line. Harry and Meghan under her sign, fearless and bold with a soul that shines.
Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the alternate, Gianna, the alternative, and welcome to the Daily Nerd Live for Sunday, the 29th of December, 2024. The contents for today's Daily Nerd Live Sunday edition are as follows. We're going to be discussing all the upcoming disasters Meghan Markle and Prince Harry will be facing in 2025. And so, first disaster that we're going to go into are all the court cases. And there's quite a few, guys, a lot more than maybe you realise, that Hazza and Megsy are going to be facing. And I suspect all of them are going to be disastrous for them in one way, shape or form. So we're going to go through all of that. The next upcoming disaster that Megsy and Hazza will face in 2025 is, of course, the Invictus Games, the winter version of the Invictus Games that will take place in a couple of months' time in February in Canada, Vancouver, Whistler. We're going to discuss why that is going to be a disaster for Megsy and Hazza in 2025. Then apparently there's going to be more fake royal tours, as if they hadn't learnt their lesson when it comes to Colombia and Nigeria, right, guys? So we're going to discuss that. We're also then going to discuss how American Riviera Archard, the brand, is going to be one of the ultimate disasters that Megsy and Hazza will also face and have to deal with in 2025. And then finally, we're going to discuss Netflix and Lemonada. Yes, there's all this chatter, right, that next year Netflix is going to drop them. But I think a lot of people have forgotten that Megsy also signed with Lemonada as well. What the deuce is going on there? And why are these two deals going to be big, massive, epic disasters that Megsy and Hazza will most likely face in 2025? So, guys, that is your content for today's Daily Nerd Live for Sunday, the 29th of December, 2024. I hope you guys had a lovely weekend, but more importantly, a lovely Christmas. Yes, this has been the week of Christmas. For me, it was so cool. One of the best Christmases I've had in a long time, guys. But everyone that's watching on the replay, fast forward like 10-15 minutes and I will have started the main topic of the day, which is all of the disasters that Megsy and Hazza will face in 2025. We're going to go through all of that. Before we do so, though, breaking news in the last hour. I know this isn't royal related, but I know that the majority of you nerds are American, and so I wanted to take this moment, as this is breaking news in the last hour, just to provide my commiserations to you guys that former President Jimmy Carter has passed away aged 100. And looking through this article from, GB News, his son Chip Carter confirmed that former US President Jimmy Carter passed away at his home in Plains, Georgia, around 3:45 p.m. local time, and that he was the first Georgian ever elected to the White House. I didn't know that. He left office only after a single term, during which he helped forge peace between Israel and Egypt. In the decades after his term ended, his reputation grew through his work at the Carter Center in Atlanta and his philanthropic cases, such as Habitat for Humanity. Now, whichever political aisle you follow or you land on, to me it doesn't matter. A former US president has passed away, and so yeah, this was just my moment here just to, publicly acknowledge that. And yeah, to pass on my commiserations and my condolences to all you American alter nerds out there, and to his family and his friends, of course, that are suffering from this massive loss. As I was setting up today's live stream, it literally popped up. I was like, whoa, okay. That was not on my bingo card for 2024. Let's put it that way, guys. So yeah, starting off with a little bit of a somber tone, but like I said, I think it was important just to kind of mark this and, acknowledge this big, massive news that has just broken in the last hour. With that being said, a lot of you guys have been sending sugar bucks my ways. So thank you so much for that. We're going to get onto that now before we jump into the main topic of the day, which is, yes, let's discuss all of the upcoming disasters in 2025 that Megzy and Hazza are going to face. 2025 is the year it's all going to come to an end, guys, I think, at this stage. First and foremost, we have Aussie Woman 581 gifting one leadership to one of you lucky alter nerds out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leader, courtesy of Aussie Woman 581. And oh my goodness, Lizzie B coming right in being like, I know how to kick off a gifting war. Gifting another leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leaders, courtesy of Aussie Woman 581 and Lizzie B. And that only means one thing, guys. Today's gifting wars for this stream have officially begun. So thank you so much to Aussie Woman 581 and Lizzie B for collectively kicking off today's gifting wars. Guys, we're already on 2 new leaders for today's stream. We're just 3 more away from 5 new leaders for today's stream. So who else is going to pick up that sword and shield and be like, this ain't how you do a gifting war. This is how you do a gifting war. And guys, I have decided that for the December leader only stream, we're going to be doing that at the beginning of next month, at the beginning of January, because I can appreciate that a lot of you leaders at the moment are going to be extremely busy when it comes to family, friends, Christmas, New Year's, and a lot of you guys may not be able to make it if I did a leader only stream for December in December at the end of this month. So that's why I'm going to push it to the beginning of January. So if you don't want to miss out on that leader only stream, you guys know what to do. Hit that join button. Leader only streams are the only streams where you're able to call in and we discuss all the misadventures of Hazza and Megzy. We also have Sergeant George Harrison in the chat. Hey up, Sarge. $2 sugar bucks, ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. And my favourite, the Ginger Doggy Fighting Hearts moment. I love it. For those that don't know, this is a ginger doggy. There are hearts coming from the tail when you lift the tail from a doggy. What's directly underneath? The butthole. Therefore, this is a Ginger Doggy Fighting Hearts moment. You will never be able to ever unsee it ever again. You're very welcome. But we also have Aussie Woman 581 also finding my favourite super chat sticker and the $3.99 sugar bucks. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we have Mic Drop Lisa in the house saying 8 months already. Where has the time gone? I hope you had a Merry Christmas and wish you all the happiness in the new year. I know, right? Where has the time gone indeed? I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, including yourself, Mic Drop Lisa. And yes, I do wish you all the happiness in the new year, because I'll tell you something. For the new year with Hazza and Megzy and the things that are coming up, oh my goodness, there are so many disasters that Megzy and Hazza are going to face in 2025, and I'm going to go through it all in a moment with you guys. Lisa Boo, oh my goodness, thank you so much for your continued support for the last 29 months. That's absolutely insane. Saying, love this community. I do too. I completely agree. You're not going to get any disagreement from me on that one. May 2025 be a great year for everyone. Much love, and thank you, Stef, for being you. I'm not going to be anyone else but me. But thank you for being you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Lisa Boo. And we have King Bob in the chat. Hey up, King Bob. And again, my favourite. The ginger doggy fighting house moment. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And the $2 sugar bucks again. Ruining a sugar's day by sending a lot of sugar bucks my way. Really appreciate your face. Thank you so, so much. With that being said, we're going to jump into today's main topic for this Daily Nerd Live. All the disasters Meghan Markle and Prince Harry will face in 2025. Oh my goodness. There's so much in 2025 for Megsy and Hazza. It's not going to be a great year for them, I don't think. What do you think? And that is the question for today's Daily Nerd Live. Do you think 2025 is going to be an epic disaster for Megsy and Hazza? If your answer is yes, then please hit that like button as your voting tool. It's just the quickest and easiest way for me to gauge you guys' opinion, see if you actually agree with me or not. Already 124 of you have hit that like button as your voting tool, saying that yes, you do believe that 2025 is going to be an epic disaster for Megsy and Hazza. And so let's get into the first disaster that Megsy and Hazza, I think, are going to face in 2025. Now, I reported on this, or I did a video. I don't think I've released it yet. But either way, look out for it, because Hazza next month is going to take the stand in his fight against Rupert Murdoch and his publishing empire, particularly news group newspapers, NGN. And here Reuters is reporting that Hazza faces 4 days in the witness box in the Murdoch papers trial. And so, yeah, they're saying that he could be quizzed for 4 days on the stand by lawyers for Rupert Murdoch's news group newspapers, NGN, when his lawsuit against the publisher goes to trial next month. So we're only a couple of weeks away, and right from the start of 2025, Hazza and Megsy are going to face an epic disaster, a legal court appearance disaster, because as I explained in this video right here on my channel, the last time Hazza was on the stand was last year against the Mirror Group newspaper for similar accusations of phone hacking, whatever, right? And it was a bloodbath, guys, because on the stand, Hazza was like, well, you could have only got that story if you hacked my phone or got the information illegally. And the Mirror Group newspaper barrister was like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? The story was released in a rival publisher newspaper like a couple of days ago, a week ago, this, that, and the other. We got the information from them. We didn't have to hack you, mate. It was an absolute bloodbath when he was last on the stand in a similar case against Mirror Group newspaper last year. And so I'm expecting that there's going to be a similar situation that's going to happen next month when Hazza goes on the stand again, but now against Rupert Murdoch news group newspapers. In the meantime, before we go any further, Shelbert Marche, thank you so much for the $4.99 sugar bucks, ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. And it's your 5th super chat on a live stream. Well, thank you so much for your very, very kind generosity. I really appreciate your face, Shelby. Thank you so much for that. And it's Mr. Greenblob, and he's like, mic drop. Oh yeah, mic drop indeed. We're going to have more mic drops in a moment. We also have Ms. M jumping into today's gifting war, gifting one leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, "Hey up" to our newest leader, courtesy of Ms. M. That takes us to 3 new leaders for today's stream. Who else is going to jump into today's gifting wars and get us to a whopping 5 new leaders for today's stream? We're only 2 more away. Who's going to help us get there? We may soon find out. We also have Stephen Magnus in the chat. Thank you so much for your continued support for the leadership for the last 14 months and all the emails you sent. Like, dude, how you have the time, I have no idea, but it is so valuable to me. So thank you so much for the background information alone and, you know, helping me better understand like the finances and things like that. So thank you so much, mate. Saying all the pending trademarks, all need attention, stroke, revision. Oh, we're going to get on to that, Stephen Magnus. So thank you so much for reminding me of that. But moving on, this is the thing, right? It's not just, his fight against Rupert Murdoch. Oh, no. The legal disasters do not stop there in 2025, as Prince Has's fight for UK security is actually going to be starting on either the 8th or the 9th of April 2025, as the judge will be hearing his appeal. And so going on to this, yes, a court official has confirmed that a date has been set for the Duke's appeal to be heard in London, starting on either April the 8th or the 9th. And what is this appeal you guys are asking about? Well, this is his ongoing legal battle, many that he's got, as you guys know, against the Home Office to restore taxpayer-funded security after losing quote, frankly hopeless bid to appeal decision earlier this year. Now, why am I saying that this is going to be an absolute disaster for Megxie and Hazza in 2025, or as I like to call this one, a legal disaster? Well, if we remember rightly, earlier this year, a High Court judge had ruled that Hazza had comprehensively lost a, quote, frankly hopeless bid to appeal against a Home Office decision about his UK security. Now, since then, yes, the appeal is still going to go through, and that's going to happen either on the 8th or 9th of April 2025. But if a previous judge was like, no, Hazza comprehensively lost, and it's frankly hopeless at this point, how do you think this appeal is really, really going to go? I mean, come the frick on, right, guys? Come the frick on. But, guys, the legal disasters for 2025 do not stop there. Why? Here we go, guys. Hazza's visa route is now set to continue, as he's no longer now going to be protected by the Biden administration. Now, again, this is another court case of Hazza that I have been extensively covering here on Stef the Alternate with your favourite DC lawyer, Mr. John Witherspoon. And yeah, now that Biden is out and Trump is in, this is bad news for Hazza and the US visa route. And so you've got the Heritage Foundation, Niall Gardner in particular, saying that a Trump presidency means that the Heritage Foundation is more likely to win this case now, because he's previously been protected by the Biden administration, they claim. But with Biden now gone, and Trump going in, yeah, that protection's gone then at that point. Hazza's on his own. He is absolutely screwed. Speaking after Donald Trump was re-elected back to the presidency, Niall Gardner said that he believes there's now a strong possibility that the Heritage Foundation will be able to successfully appeal the decision. Now, next up, in terms of all the disasters that Hazza and Megxie are going to be facing in 2025, well, let's go on to the Invictus Games, the winter version that's going to be happening in Vancouver, Whistler in Canada from February the 8th to the 16th, 2025. Now, to me, this is expected to be an absolute disaster, as Hazza and Megxie are going to make it all about them again, rather than the veterans. I had reported over a year ago, right, that Angela Levin, a very well-known royal commentator, I quote her a lot here, had said that she had sources in the whole Canada Invictus Games situation, and they didn't want it to happen in the end, because they knew that essentially the spotlight's all just going to be on Hazza and Megxie. They're going to make it the Hazza and Megxie show rather than the spotlight actually being on the veterans. And people involved in the organisation of the Invictus Games in Canada are just not happy with that for obvious reasons, right? And so they didn't want it to go ahead in the end. They just wanted to pull out. Well, it looks like it's going to go ahead. But this is the thing, right? It's believed more than ever, as far as I'm concerned, that Hazza and Megxie are going to make it all about them again rather than the veterans between February the 8th to the 16th, 2025 for the Invictus Games winter version. Why? Because when you look at this, essentially, this would be Archie and Lilibet's first official public appearance in years. If this happens, if Archie and Lilibet publicly appear officially, or even unofficially, right, at the Invictus Games in February, game over for the veterans. It will be all about Hazza, Megzy and the kids. The spotlight will all be on them. It will not be on the veterans whatsoever, and the Invictus Games, therefore, will be a disaster for Hazza and Megzy in 2025. It's going to backfire on them. It really, really is. Why? Because ultimately, as far as I'm concerned at that point, if they bring Archie and Lilibet to the Invictus Games, then they are actively, as far as I'm concerned, whether they intend it or not, to take the spotlight away from the veterans and make it all about them. The big talk about, oh, it's all about family, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 right? But, yeah, no. Actions speak louder than words. You don't treat your family like this, where you take the spotlight away from them and you put it on yourself for selfish means, this, that, and the other, as far as I'm concerned. It will backfire on them, as far as I'm concerned, if they do bring Archie and Lilibet to the Invictus Games. It will backfire on them yet again if they make it all about them, like they did in previous Invictus Games that we've seen. The German one, for example. She's the freaking bed we all remember. The soldiers, the veterans, marching. Megzy joining them in this march and being completely out of step. Like, who the hell does she think she is? What the frick is that? It's absolutely insane. Oh, but, you know, Megzy and Hazza love to march out of step, as far as I'm concerned. They really, really do not have a clue with the reality of the situation because, apparently there'll be more fake royal tours in 2025. Yeah. Just let that simmer just for a moment. More fake royal tours in 2025. And this is the thing, right? Judging by their Colombia and also Nigerian trips, I expect these 2025 fake royal tours to also be massive disasters for them, right? They were absolutely tone deaf when it came to Nigeria, especially Megzy and the way that she was dressed, right? It was completely inappropriate for that country as to the way that she was dressed. She got a lot of criticism for that. Go on to Colombia. Oh my goodness. There were hardly anyone there. There were hardly anyone there that actually wanted to see them. Colombia spent millions on them. But in the end, what did they get back? Absolutely zero, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, and let's not forget Hazza and Megzy getting on an airplane and being greeted by a wanted US fugitive for like $1 million, multi-million-dollar fraud situation that was going on there. Like, absolute disasters Colombia and Nigeria were. And apparently there's going to be more fake royal tours in 2025. Yay! Yes, even more upcoming disasters for Hazza and Megzy in 2025. Including, yes, let's get on to Megzy's brand, American Riviera Archard. Oh, what the hell she's actually going to be calling this thing, because for Megzy, reports were coming through that she was going to launch a brand and her Netflix cooking show in early 2025. Now, this was back on 30th of November, so just about a month ago now, right? And so Page 6 said here that Megzy will make a return to public life with a bang in the new year, that she's barely been seen over the past few months as she readied her new products, but she'll launch her Netflix show in early 2025, and alongside that will finally come the launch of a much anticipated lifestyle brand, American Riviera Archard. Oh, whatever the hell she's actually going to call this thing. Now, This was released, and this is why I made a point to say that this article was published about a month ago on the 30th of November, right? I made a point of saying that. Why? Because this article was released before the big bomb that was Polo. And since then, reports are now coming through, as you can see here, that as a result of Polo bombing harder than Heart of Invictus, like, it just was, it failed even worse. It was worse than in Heart of Invictus, right? So, since Polo bombed, reports are now coming through that as a result, Meg's cooking show now could be axed. Oh, yeah. Especially when it's all linked to a brand, American Riviera Archard, which you can't use as a name anymore anyways, right? She first applied for this particular trademark in the summer. The bid was rejected in August due to issues with filing. She was then given 3 months to address the errors and challenges to the application. She's now asked for another 3 months to complete it. If the deadline is missed, then the application will need to be started again. And so, in other words, she has until around about February 2025 to address all the issues, right, with her trademark, branding, application, whatever the frick you want to call it. At that point, if she don't do that, she has to start all over again. Again, this is another big, massive, upcoming disaster in 2025 for Haar and Megxie. Because if she can't properly trademark her brand, her name, whatever the douche she's going to freaking call it, then everything falls down. Not just a brand, not just what she's trying to hawk or sell or whatever you want to call it, but also as well the whole Netflix show. Because this upcoming Netflix show for cooking, gardening, entertaining, whatever the frick she's going to do with it, right? It's all coinciding and it's all linked to her brand that she can't freaking properly trademark anyway in the first place. And speaking of Netflix, remember back in 2023 when it was announced that Netflix bought the movie rights to the book Meet Me at the Lake for Haar and Megxie to produce under the whole Archard Productions banner, right? Well, we haven't heard anything officially about what Megxie and Haar have done with this project since. It's as if potentially Netflix has passed it on to another production company to deal with, and maybe 2025 is the year we do not see Haar and Megxie produce and release this film. Again, another massive upcoming disaster in 2025 for Haar and Megxie. Because it was all the big headlines, right? It was released to much fanfare, right? Meet Me at the Lake. Netflix bought the movie rights for it. They've given it to Haar and Megxie to produce. Ooh, right? And it's been cricket since. Ooh, again, maybe 2025 is the year we do not see Haar and Megxie produce and release this film. Again, this being another upcoming disaster in 2025 for Haar and Megxie. And so, with all these failures with setting up a brand and every show she and Haar have produced and been involved in bombing since their mockumentary Haar and Megxie, this leads to the notion that essentially Netflix will not renew their deal in 2025. And so here you've got Puck co-founder Matthew Baloney and entertainment reporter Leslie Goldberg chiming in on all of this. And they're saying that none of the couple's other projects has, quote, connected in the same way, including Megxie's passion project, which was an animated children's series called Pearl, which was cancelled before it even got started in the first place, right? They've also said that Megxie's forthcoming cooking show isn't expected to connect. They correctly predicted that the Polo show from Haar was not going to connect, and yeah, it didn't connect in any way, shape or form. You have since the Daily Beast turning round and saying that Netflix are exhausted by Megxie as her and Haar's Polo show bombs all the way down to hell and does not return forever and ever and ever, amen. You then have a Netflix insider, which I reported on in a previous video, guys. Check this out. Sharing a brutal 6-word remark about what it's really like to work with Megxie and be around Megxie. They said, it's so much work with her. Oh, but they go one step further and they say, bluntly, the deliverable does not seem to be worth it. As in, it's not worth it working with Megxie and having to put up with all her shitters, right? Because she's so much work to deal with. It's not worth it because what's produced in the end by Hazza and Megxie bombs. So why should we work with her anymore? There's so much work anyway to be with her and have to deal with her. For what? Another show that's going to freaking bomb and not make the top 10 in the UK and US Netflix charts? But guys, this is the thing, and I said it earlier on. There's a lot of talk, right, that next year, 2025, Megxie and Hazza are going to be facing another upcoming disaster, which is Netflix not renewing their contract with them. But what a lot of people are forgetting is that Megxie also signed a deal with Lemonada to continue her podcast series, whatever the hell it's going to be, on that platform. But will her podcast on Lemonada actually go ahead when it was pushed back to 2025 for reasons that I think are completely BS, right, guys? Now, she's also struggling to book guests, and she's now having to turn to those she previously ditched, i.e. her Suits co-stars, which reportedly they're turning around and telling her to bog off, seeing her invitations as an absolute insult. Which I would agree, it's an absolute insult. After ditching them, she's then coming back with the tail between her legs, being like, reportedly, please come back on my show because I can't get anyone else on. Yeah, I'd tell her where to go. But even if she does somehow get guests to go onto her show, her podcast, Lemonada might not actually be in existence by then, as reports are showing that potentially the owners are trying to sell it. So here you've got podnews.net turning around and saying the podcast production company Lemonada Media is, quote, exploring a sale according to a subscriber-only report in Axios. The company has hired an investment bank to speak with potential buyers. It's raised $10.5 million so far. The piece also mentions that last month, the company voluntarily recognised the WGAE's Lemonada Media Union. And so, yeah, even if she does somehow get guests to go onto a podcast show, like I said, Lemonada might not even be in existence by then, as reports are showing that potentially the owners are trying to sell it. So not only is Megxie and Hazza facing an upcoming disaster with Netflix in 2025, with everything pointing towards that deal not being renewed in any way, shape or form, but is 2025 also the year that Megxie loses Lemonada as well? Doesn't look good for her, does it? And what's the betting that after all these 2025 upcoming disasters that I suspect will come to fruition, that many more will jump ship and quit working for them? Why continue to work on a sinking ship? And I use that just as a metaphor, okay, guys? Don't read too much into it. Why continue working for losers? In 2025, they're going to have essentially, the court disasters, all the court appearances, the legal disasters as far as I'm concerned that's going to be taking place. We then have the Royal Tour disasters for 2025. Apparently there's going to be more Royal Tours. Big Royal Tours as far as I'm concerned, and a lot of you guys are concerned. And if they haven't learned from the disasters that were Colombia and Nigeria, all the upcoming 2025 fake Royal Tours are going to be disasters as well. Yeah, then have the brand ARO, whatever the hell she's going to call it. That's going to be an upcoming 2025 disaster. And then finally, the Netflix Lemonada upcoming 2025 disaster. Everyone is going to drop them. This is the year in 2025 that for me, it is all going to come to an end for Megsy and Hazza. Because what's the betting, like I said, that after all the disasters we expect to be coming up for Hazza and Megsy in 2025, that many more, under their employment, are going to just jump ship and quit working for them. Because over the last 3-4 years, approximately 20 people have quit for them, have quit them, have left them, resigned, whatever you want to call it. The optics don't look good, does it, guys? And so the question for today's Daily Nerd Live is, do you believe that 2025 is going to be an epic disaster for Hazza and Megsy? If you believe that is the case, then please hit the like button as your voting tool. It's just the quickest and easiest way for me to gauge you guys' opinion, to see if you actually agree with that or not. Elizabeth Besco being really, really kind there, saying thank you, Stephen. We've got Archard. Thank you so much for the $2 sugar bucks. Ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. Appreciate it. Saying ciao, Bella. Ciao, Bella. Come stai? Come stai? But yeah, guys, with that being said, I can see here that 295 of you have hit that like button as your voting tool, agreeing with me that yes, 2025 is going to be an absolute epic disaster for Hazza and Megsy. If you agree with all of us, then yes, hit that like button as your voting tool. Like I said, it's just the quickest and easiest way for me to gauge you guys' opinion, see if you actually agree with that or not. I'll check back in a little while and see how many more of you guys agree. But with that being said, if you haven't done so already, if you like this content and you want more, and believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then please make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. And with that being said, let's get into the live chat portion of this stream. The usual applies. Anyone that sends a super chat sticker, member only chats, your chats are guaranteed to be read. Anyone else, I'll just pick and choose what stands out to me, but your chats are not guaranteed to be read, so please do bear that in mind. With that being said, let's see what you guys are saying. Sarge is saying, "Oh, Loco as a brand name." Yeah, I mean, she could try and rename it as Loco. I totally would agree with that. She's a little bit of a Loco, isn't it? Way up. I've just got a little message for Mr. John Witherspoon. Just a quick message. Thank you, John. I appreciate you, mate. All I'll say is he's watching. Hey up, John. How's it going, mate? Everyone in the live chat, say hello to your favourite DC lawyer, Mr. John Witherspoon. Yeah, I'll just have maybe I'll just go there. And go, oh, no, let's not do that. Let's see if that works instead. Okay. Right. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Mic Drop Lisa says, I have a new name for Arrow. Glam. Guys, look at me. Hoo, hoo, hoo. I like that. You see, this is why we call her Mic Drop Lisa, because she comes out with mic drops like this. I mean, come on. How could you deny that? How can you deny her title of Mic Drop Lisa at this point? Thank you so much, honey. We've got Sarge coming back into the fray with a $2 sugar bucks, ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. Appreciate it. Saying a brand name or two, ego or loco, thoughts. See, I prefer Mic Drop Lisa's glam name. I think that's a really, really good one. And she repeated it twice. Well, thank you anyway, Mic Drop Lisa. I appreciate your face. Thank you so much, honey. The Outer Limit says, in a way, I wish they had made a roaring success of things. Then we wouldn't have to keep picking over their failures and their moaning. Sorry, I had to lubricate my throat there. I never wish ill will on anyone. Apart from my monster. However, let's put it this way. You reap what you sow. Karma always comes to collect in the end. It's as simple as that. For them to throw the royal family under the bus, to completely betray them and the UK, and throw us under the bus, and attack and insult our national identity, our national culture, because the royal family is part of our culture and national identity as UK citizens, as Britons, right? You reap what you sow. Yeah, I wish they made a success of things. I wish it turned out a different way. But it hasn't. But that's on them. That's on them. But they'll continue to blame other people, blah, 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 blah. Just like, you know, when they were turning around and saying, oh, well, you know, Polo failed because we were pushed out of it. We didn't have as much involvement as we wanted to. Even though when I did a video on this, I showed you guys an article that was released on the day Polo was released, where the executive producer on there was saying, oh, they had all the input in the world. Nah, they reap what they sow. They really, really do. The Outer Limits says, I'm a Sussex's intern. Get me out of here. A new pitch for a particularly grueling challenge show. If people don't get the reference there, The Outer Limits is referencing a show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It's hilarious. It's really, really funny. And this year's series was really good, actually. Really, really good. I was really impressed with it. Stephen Magnus, thank you so much for the £5 sugar bucks. We're winning a Sugar's Day by sending some sugar bucks my way. Saying, don't forget, Meghan has a Delaware registered company called American Riviera Archard LLC. Maybe Meghan will trademark that entity instead. She could do, however, she still runs into, I believe, the problem, which is the trademark office turning around and saying, you can't trademark a place. And it's still a place. And so she can try and trademark that entity all she wants, but I think she will still run into the same kind of issues, really, in that regard. We've got, again, Stephen Magnus jumping in today's gifting war, gifting one. Leadership to one of you lucky lots out there. So everyone say, hey up to our newest leader, courtesy of Stephen Magnus. And that takes us to 4 new leaders for today's stream. We're just one more away from 5 new leaders for today's stream. So who else is going to jump into today's gifting wars, just like Stephen Magnus, and be like, this ain't how you do a gifting war. This is how you do a gifting war. Guys, we may soon find out. Let's see what else you guys are saying. We've got about 10 more minutes left until today's live stream ends. So if you have any more comments or any more super chat stickers, member only chats, now is the time to get them in. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Sarge is saying, it's funny how they want to sell Lemonada after signing Megxi. Think about it. I know, right? I know. And it's a case of not even Megxi could save Lemonada, right? It was all over, headlines the world over, right? Megxi's got a new podcast on Lemonada, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Based on that report I showed you guys, Megxi is not enough to save Lemonada if the owners are now on the hunt to try and sell the whole thing. And if they do, Megxi doesn't have a Lemonada platform then to release a podcast on, whatever it's going to be, if she's actually working on it. I mean, who the frick knows at this point, right, guys? Janie D says, the truth about the children is supposed to come out in the spring. I can hardly wait. Now, again, full disclosure here, okay, there's a lot of debate as to whether these children exist or not. Lilibet and Archie. Do I believe they exist? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, I was very, very lucky earlier on this year to have Lady C agree to come onto this channel and for me to interview her. And I asked her outright, do the children exist? She was like, emphatically, yes. These children exist. The question, though, is, were they born of Megsy's body? And if they weren't, then they should not be in the line of succession. That's the bit that we need to find out. That's the truth that needs to be uncovered. Not if they exist or not. It's, did Megsy give birth to them physically or not? Because as far as I'm concerned, of course they exist. I always use the example, right, of one of my favourite actors in the whole wide world, Benedict Cumberbatch. He's got reportedly 2 children. We've never seen them in public. Does that mean they don't exist? Of course not. Of course not. And so to me, I use that same logic with Hazza and Megsy. Just because we don't see them in public, does it mean they don't exist? No. No. They do exist. That's there. The pictures of them are highly dubious. I will freely admit that. But I do firmly believe these children do exist. So for me, this whole debate of whether they exist or not is a red herring. And it's turning our attention away to the bigger, more important question, which is, were they born out of Megsy herself, physically? Even more importantly, do Archie and Lilibet have a right to be in the line of succession? Any other discussion about whether they're real or not, to me, turns our attention away to the actual bigger, more important question that really needs to be asked and really, really, really needs to be found out. So hopefully one of these days we do get to know the truth and do get to find out whether Archie and Lilibet definitely have a right to be in the line of succession or not. Because for those that don't know, you cannot be in the line of succession if you are born via a surrogate. If you're a royal child born via a surrogate, you have to be born physically from the biological mother themselves. In this respect, Archie and Lilibet have to physically be born from the actual body of a Megsy for them to be in the line of succession. If they came out of someone else's freaking legs, let's put it that way, they should not be in the line of succession. Let's be very, very blunt about this. And so again, going back to what I previously said, all this discussion of whether they're real or not, whether they actually exist or not, to me is a red herring. To me, it's taken our attention away from the real question, the real issue that really needs to be focused on. Do you see where I'm coming from, guys? I always mispronounce your name, love, and I know you've told me a few times how to pronounce it, and I'm so stupid, it's unreal. I'm so sorry. I'm probably going to butcher your name again, love, but Anish, thank you so much for that very generous $5 sugar bucks, ruining a lot of Sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. Very kind of you, honey. And oh my goodness, is Mr. Yellow Dude and Bluebird high-fiving? We're high-fiving now, Anish. Here we go. High five. Booyah! I love it. Thank you so much. I see a lot of you guys as well saying hi to John in the chat. We know you're lurking, mate. You messaged me. Thank you. Appreciate you, hon. Why is Mike Drop Lisa saying sorry? Interesting. Okay. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Aussie Woman 581 says, true, Steph, you reap what you sow. Yeah. You really, really do. You really, really do. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Yvonne says, Karma always has her tithes to be paid with interest. Oh, yeah. Karma always comes to collect with interest. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Always. Diane Clues, I love this. Meg's new company, another rip-off. Should I do a live stream where you guys, like a one-off live stream where you guys potentially call in and provide your kind of, I don't know, ideas as to what Megsy should rename her brand as? I wonder if that would work. It'd be a rarity because usually I only do call-ins with leaders and that's it. But what do you guys think to that? Let me know in the live chat. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Sandra Piccone says they are getting what they deserve after they embarrassed and mocked the Queen. Yeah, but not just embarrassed and mocked the Queen, but completely disrespected and betrayed the royal family, disrespected and betrayed the British public, but also as well completely insulted our British identity and culture, because again, the royal family are part of our British identity and culture, and when you insult the royal family, you're insulting us and the British identity and culture. It's very, very simple, very, very easy to understand that. Seriously, it should be, right? And so, yeah, I think it goes much, much further than that. Everyone's saying hello to Mr. Fox if he's lurking. Hello, honey, I'll be downstairs soon. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Steve M says, rumours coming out today are asking if Hazza was in California for Christmas or the UK. Can you address? So everything that I'm reading so far is that Hazza was in California in Montecito for Christmas. Technically, it would make sense for him to be there, even though, as we all suspect, Hazza and Megsy are on the way out, and that it's all going to lead to divorce, what we all suspect there. To me, it makes sense that Hazza would still stay in America for Christmas for the children. It's as simple as that. And I had heard, actually, that the Spencers didn't invite them in the end. So that's kind of a little bit back and forth. And that instead, Charles Spencer, it was reported that, you know, on Christmas Day, he went to visit Princess Diana's grave and, you know, took a few moments there, which he said was a very personal moment between him and his sister, which I get. But if it's so personal and so private, why is he announcing that to the press? Or having someone leak it or whatever, right? Or however it came out. I just think it's a bit distasteful that that's out there. Do you see where I'm coming from, guys? Darkness Blade says, for the children, even if they are in line, Megsy won't be queen or the mother of the king till she's 99 plus years old. Yes, although it is rumoured that she said something completely disgusting. It is rumoured, again, just a rumour, that she said that essentially she's a plane crash away from being Queen of England. Yeah. Again, rumoured. Speculation, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But that rumour's been going around now for years, guys. It's scary if that is true. It really is, right? Aussie Woman 581 says, definitely not born of Megsy. I don't think so either. I don't think they were born of Megsy. I think opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, looking at all the pictures and the information that's out there, and her not essentially following royal protocol, it all points to the belief that, yeah, she used a surrogate. Again, opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, do your own research, come to your own conclusions. But yeah, it's something just don't smell right at all with it, with any of it. Yeah, the truth will come out in the end. It will. It has to. It really, really does. Alok 26k says the royals knowing the facts and this still being a topic is the issue. Can't trust any of them. Will do better. And this is the thing, and I have said this. If it does come out that it's true that Archie and Lilibet were born via surrogate and not from the body of Megxie, right? That not only destroys Hazza and Megxie, but that also does destroy the royal family as well. Not as much, but they will be negatively impacted by it. Why? Because how could they have not known in that scenario that they were not born of Hazza and Megxie? In that scenario, they must have known that, yes, Archie and Lilibet were born via surrogate, and they still, in that scenario, allowed Archie and Lilibet to be in the line of succession. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people, you speak to them, and they're hyped up and excited at the notion that the truth will come out, and that we'll finally find out if Archie and Lilibet were born via a surrogate or not. But even more excited if it does transpire that they were born of a surrogate. But to me, it's like, no, I'm not excited. I'm dreading that. Because if it's true and they were born of a surrogate, again, it's not just Hazza and Megxie that are implicated in this, but the royal family as well implicated in it. That's not good, guys. That's really not good. The truth has to come out because we, as the British public and within the Commonwealth, deserve to know that the people in the line of succession are legitimately there. And if Archie and Lilibet in the line of succession should not legitimately be there because they were born via a surrogate, yes, Hazza and Megxie destroyed, but the royal family are also negatively impacted in all of that as well. It's... So, this is why I say people are so excited about this notion that, you know, the truth will come out and Archie and Lilibet were born via surrogate, and they'll be like, Megxie and Hazza, we caught you. You're done. You lied. Blah, blah, blah. Yes. True. In that scenario. But then there are some uncomfortable questions that the royal family will have to answer. And they will be negatively impacted in all of that as well. Do you see where I'm coming from, guys? There's an argument, even though I don't actually transcribe to this or follow it or agree with it, there is an argument whereby it's like, well, maybe the truth, if they were born via surrogate, maybe the truth shouldn't come out in the first place to avoid any, I would say, the damage it would cause the royal family. For me, I'd say to that argument, regardless, the truth should come out. Regardless how much it hurts or harms the royal family, the truth should always come out no matter what. It's as simple as that. It's more of a freaking landmine situation than a lot of guys actually realise it to be. It really is. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Rothound says, Steph, what are plans you care to share for your new channels? Well, For those that don't know, I've launched 2 brand new channels. We are expanding the Alt Nerd universe with political nerds and fitness nerds. Political nerds, I'm going to be a nerdy alternative to provide news from Washington, D.C. to Westminster and beyond. Videos will be released starting next week. We also have fitness nerds. Say hello to a new you through nutrition, exercise and well-being. And videos will be starting next week. So yeah, next week in the new year in 2025, you'll be seeing brand new content from both political nerds and fitness nerds. But don't worry, Stef the Alt Nerd will continue. You'll get your content as usual here. That is not going to change. It's not going to be affected. But yeah, that is the update for those 2 channels. I do have intros and outros for both of them that I've created as a little bit of a temporary stopgap. I have my animator guy working at the moment on proper like professional intros and outros and all that lot, guys. So do bear with me, you know, with that kind of beginning period of all of that. But yeah, we're pretty much ready now to start releasing content next week, and next week content's going to be released. So I'm so excited for you guys to see. I'm a nerd in so many areas, and so you guys are going to see it on political nerds and fitness nerds, and maybe more coming soon. Watch this space. Yvonne Burns says, she disrespected our country and way of life. Not going to forget that. And don't get me started on that muppet of a husband. I won't then. But yeah, Yvonne, I totally agree. Let's see. Linda Glass says, yeah, if it's a surrogate, then the royal family would have to know, right? Exactly. If in an alternate universe, the truth came out that Archie and Lilibet were born of a surrogate, Megxie and Has are then destroyed. But there's also damage that's going to incur on the royal family side as well, because yeah, how they would have had to know they were born of a surrogate in that scenario. And they would be implicated in this whole cover-up as well in that scenario. It'd be a mess. It would be an absolute mess. And there'd be some very, very awkward questions that the royal family would have to ask. Would have to answer, sorry. They'd have to answer. Jeffrey Granwell says, can we name the next natural disaster by Megxie's name? On second thought, it would be even worse than a geostorm. I know, right? Oh, my goodness. TX KitKat, does Stef's new channels debut in January? Yes, just explained a few moments ago that new content will be arriving next week on both new channels, which is Fitness Nerds and Political Nerds. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be so much fun. I've got all the content lined up for you guys, and yep, next week, full steam ahead. As I said, new content will be coming in the new year for both those channels, and we're going for it. We're going for it, and we'll see where we end up, right, guys? So thank you so much to everyone so far that has actually subscribed to both Political Nerds and Fitness Nerds. For those that haven't, join the expansion of the Alt Nerd universe today. Subscribe to both channels, the links of which are pinned right at the top of the live chat, but also as well in the description bar below. Thanks so much to all you guys' support so far to both new channels. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Jeffrey Crownwell also becoming a new leader. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, mate. Everyone say hey up to our newest leader, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for that. And Jeffrey Crownwell says, thank you for your donation. Well, dude, $5 sugar bucks. Thank you so much for your donation and ruining a sugar's day by sending some sugar bucks my way. I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'll be finished in a moment, guys. So if any of you guys have any last minute sugar bucks or leader only chats that you want to send my way, now is the time to do it. So thank you so much. Through the Looking Glass by Alice says, Steph the Alter Nerd, I've signed up to your new shows. Not into fitness, but I'll certainly drop in and say hello. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Lisa Boo says, look forward to the new channels. Yay! Ms. M says, a happy new year to Steph and everyone. Saying back to you, Ms. M. I can't wait to see the new channels next week. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see the new channels next week. Oh, it's so exciting. TX Kit Kat says, Steph, you look so good. I can tell you've lost weight and look so healthy. I have. At the end of August, I was at 68, nearly 69 kilos. Now I'm at 60 kilos. The past couple of years, approximately, I decided to go on a fitness health kick, and I've tried so much and gone through so much, and I thought, do you know what? I want to share what I've gone through with you guys. What worked for me, what didn't work for me. Mr. Fox will also be joining me on that channel. He is a fully qualified personal trainer. It's how we met. So he's going to be providing his own expertise to the proceedings. And so, yeah, you guys also get to hear from Mr. Fox himself, which is going to be so freaking exciting. Mr. Fox and I were going to be having a discussion tomorrow just to finalize things in terms of content. And yeah, away we go. We'll start filming. So excited. So excited. Now, bear in mind, let me be very real on this. You will not see Mr. Fox, okay? You'll see Mr. Fox, like an avatar of Mr. Fox, but not his actual real face, to protect his identity and maintain his anonymity. So, yeah, do bear that in mind. But you will be able to hear from him. You'll hear his voice and his expertise and all that lot. So, again, I just want to be very clear on that, guys. Aussie Woman 581 says, so excited for your new channel, Steph. Me too. Linda Glass says, we'll tune into the new channel, Steph. Sounds like fun. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. It really, really is. Sandra Piccone, though, has a really good point, saying, I understand what you say about the royals having to answer if those kids are not legitimately royals. But in all honesty, it's better for them if they are the ones coming out with the information. Yeah. In terms of, you know, quote unquote, if you want to call it damage control, it would be better in this scenario if the royal family actually came out and was like, yeah, we're going to put our hands up here. They were born by a surrogate. It then puts more of the heat on Hazard and Megxie rather than them. So I do agree with Sandra. That really is the only play that the royal family have to survive anything of this scandal, if it's true. Let's see. Cabeza Block says, don't just lose weight. You want to build a bit of muscle with that. Yes. However, the muscle that I'll be building will be in my legs because for those that don't know, and you'll get to know a little bit more on Fitness Nerds, but I'm also a bit of a keen cyclist as well. And I went, actually, just you guys know, today I went to a cyclocross event, which was really, really fun. I went with Mr. Fox and it was so much fun to see. I would never do a cyclocross event myself. I'm too OCD when it comes to mess and mud and all that lot. I just couldn't. I just could not deal with that. However, road cycling with my roadie, I love that. And so next year, I'm looking into different cycling sportives, and I'm actually looking at one in particular that I might be entering. And on Fitness Nerds, I'm going to show you if this happens, like the build up to all of that, my training, my bikes, all of it. And then on the day, I'm thinking of actually buying a GoPro and just filming the whole lot. So you guys can watch literally from start to finish me doing my first ever cycling sportive. Now, the cycling sportive that I'm looking at, the level that I'd be entering in is about 55 kilometres, the actual route. Now, at the moment, when I go out on my roadie, I average about 46 kilometres. So there's not really that much more that I would have to do on that cycling sportive that I'm looking at, in all honesty. So, I'll be building more muscle up in terms of my legs rather than anything else. I don't really want to be building up muscle on my arms or anything like that. Just more my legs, because that's where I need the power from in terms of my cycling. Does that make sense, guys? Oh, and before anyone asks, no, I am not clipped in yet when it comes to my bike. It scares the heck out of me doing that, in all honesty. Mr. Fox is really trying to push me now to be clipped in. Really, really pushing. And in 2025, I will do it. And I will film it and release it on Fitness Nerd, so you guys see my first ever being clipped in. And probably I will fall over. And it'll be funny as hell for you, all of you, I know. But yeah, at the moment, I'm not clipped in. Not at all. Not happening. Done and dusted. There you go. King Bob says, Steph, are you done with your liners? Your teeth look great. No, not yet. So I still have my Invisaligns in. I've got another, let me think, another month, basically, of them all being aligned, and hopefully we're done and dusted at that point. My dentist screwed up a little bit, and I've actually been delayed by a month, more or less. Really, it should have all been done and dusted by now. Not happened for one reason or another. Is what it is. I was hoping by the end of this year my teeth would be done. They're not. But we're looking at maybe a couple of weeks, another month maybe, and hopefully by then my teeth will all be in place. But oh my goodness, yeah, I have to admit, like, my teeth do look so much better. Invisaligns have really, really worked a treat for me. I mean, these two canines here, they were proper out. I mean, this one more than this one, right? But now they're pretty much there. This one still needs a little bit more in, but we're getting there. We're getting there. It's been an adventure. There'll be a day where I do not have to wear these all day, just at night as retainers, which means I don't have to literally take my aligners in and out every single time I want to eat. It's becoming a bit of a pain in the ass, really, to be fair, at this point. But there we go. Shout out to Invisalign. It works. It does work. If it can fix my teeth, and my teeth were bad, it can fix anyone's. Let's be real. I mean, I remember last year, I spoke to my dentist and I was like, I'm thinking of Invisalign. She was like, no, you need to go to an orthodontist. Your canine, the one on your right particularly, is too far out. I think they'd need to remove a tooth to create the space to get it in, basically. I never went for it in the end because I'm like, take a tooth out? No, that just was too scary for me. And then earlier on this year, I kind of mentioned it to her again. And she was like, well, actually now, we might be able to do it with Invisalign now. And, yeah, here I am, like 9-10 months later. Since she changed her mind and she was like, actually, Invisalign might work for you now. And it has done. It really has. Exactly. Sarai says, hey, I'm used to HD Tudor and that Umbrella guy Tug not showing their faces. Yeah. There's a lot of YouTubers that are successful that don't show their faces for one reason or another. That does not harm or decrease the quality of the content that they provide you. And Mr. Fox will be the same. He will not show his face, but it will not harm the content and the information that he's providing to you guys on Fitness Nerds. I'm so excited. Edith says, Steph, if the kids were born of a surrogate, will they keep the prince and princess title and just be removed from the line of succession? I don't know. Now, that's a very interesting question. Very interesting question. Do you know what? I'm going to make a note of that. I'm going to look into that, Edith. Essentially, could Archie and Lilibet lose their titles if they were born from a surrogate, or if Megsy essentially faked the pregnancies? Because there's all this talk, you're right, there's all this talk of, well, should they be in the line of succession? But the other question really then is, well, if they're born of a surrogate and they should be removed from the line of succession, does that mean that they shouldn't have the prince and princess titles as well? Edith, thank you so much for that. You've given me a lot of food for thought. I'll do some research into that, and if I come up with that, I'll do a video and let you guys know. But shout out to Edith for that one. My goodness. Here we go. A lot of people says cycling is fun. That's so cool. Eli, Project Metal Music says that would be cool, Steph, to see that. Yeah, if I get a GoPro and just film some of my cycling adventures. Yeah, that would be cool. King Bob says, I would think your iPhone would work just fine for recording. You'd think that, but my iPhone is connected to my Apple Watch, and when I go cycling, I turn on a program that essentially monitors how far I ride, my heart rate, and a lot of other things. So then I can review my stats at the end once I finish the ride and see what I did well, see what I didn't do well in, and elevation and all that lot. And so my phone is already working overtime, let's say, to provide me with that information. If I film at the same time, my battery's just going to go in 2 minutes flat. So generally speaking, yeah, an iPhone would work fine for recording, but no, I think I'd need something separate to essentially allow the iPhone to do the more important thing for me anyway, which is monitoring my stats and giving me them at the end of it all, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Jimbo says, tone the arms though. Yeah. That would be something that I'd be looking into, toning the arms, yes. And Mr. Fox would obviously be able to help me with that. TX Kit Kat says, love your transparency with your transformation. You should be proud. Well, thank you. And why would I lie about that? It is what it is. If you literally see previous videos of me to now, it's quite obvious that I've had my teeth fixed. It's quite obvious I've had my teeth fixed. I mean, let's be real here, okay? It's also quite obvious that my skin's getting better because I'm on a retinol regime with the doctors now. I was with a facialist. I've done away with that. I'm just going to the doctors now and getting it done, right? And so, yeah, I'm how can I not be transparent? It's visually obvious what's going on here, right? Just as far as I'm concerned, it's visually obvious what was going on with Megsy and her quote pregnancies. One is being transparent. The other one less so. Who's getting more issues? I think it's Megsy. What do you think? Let's see. Rachel Green says, hi all, just finished watching Sue's live from last night. That was brilliant. Oh my goodness, it was so brilliant. It was so much fun to be on that live stream with everyone on Sue's channel. Oh my goodness, it was just a little bit of a kiki with us all. Just a bit of a kiki, chatting, shooting the shiz, talking about the misadventures of the gruesome twosome and whatnot. I said to Sue, I was like, you got to do this again. You got to do this again. It was so much fun. So yeah, I'm sure she's going to do it again. If not, I'm going to kick her ass so she does it again. Sandra says, I'm also going through the process with the aligners. It makes a huge difference. I know, right? Kath says, Steph, you should put up a before and after of your teeth when you're all done so we can all see the difference. Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that on Fitness Nerds. A before and after, like a revealing, let's say, of a new me. I've got a load of pictures where I'm smiling and you can see my old teeth in all their glory. And so you'll definitely be able to see a before and after kind of situation. Just like, pardon me, you'll be able to see a before and after situation of me losing weight. Because I went, Mr. Fox and I, it was a bit of an adventure, but we travelled all the way to Whernside, one of the 3 peaks of Yorkshire. And this is why I then started to join Slimming World, because he took pictures of me as we were walking up and all that lot, and I saw the pictures afterwards and I was like, who the frick is that chubster? Like, I will look at him, I'm like, how did I just not notice that this is whatever I'm doing is not working? I'm still not looking great. I'm still over my BMI. What the deuce? And so I was like, right, okay, I need to do something else. I need to be a bit more, what is it on this? And so I think it was one day I was just travelling down the road and I saw like this poster for Slimming World and I'm like, screw it, let me try that. And oh my goodness, Slimming World is like worked a treat for me. It really, really has. And so yeah, there's a before and after in terms of my teeth that I could do, but there's definitely a before and after that I can do with my weight as well, because those pictures that Mr. Fox took of me at Whernside, I'm now literally wearing the same pants and the same and a similar top, just in a different colour, right, to what I was wearing at Whernside. And I actually said to Mr. Fox today, interestingly enough, I bring this up now, I said to him, oh my goodness, I can really tell that I've lost a lot of weight. He was like, why? I says, because the pants that I'm wearing were really, really tight on me when we were at Whernside. And now they're more looser and it's just much more like, quote, forgiving. He was like, yeah, I noticed that too. I'm like, wow, okay. Oh, and I've also gone from, in Levi sizes, right, from a 30 waist to a 26-inch waist. I am so proud of myself, guys. It's unreal. So, yeah, there will be before and afters of my teeth situation, but there definitely will also be before and afters of my whole weight situation as well. I'm still on the weight loss situation. I'm just under the BMI now in terms of I'm just now within the recommended range of my BMI for my height and weight and gender and whatnot. But I want to lose just a little bit more weight so I'm more in the middle of the recommended range of my BMI, if that makes sense. So I think I've got like another 6.5 pounds to lose, and then essentially jobs are good. And then I just have to maintain, and that's it. Hopefully I'll be able to maintain, and then that's it. That'll be another challenge in it itself, but we'll see what happens. Let's see what else you guys are saying before we go. Aussie Woman 581 says, I need some tips myself to lose weight. I need to lose about 5 to 8 kilos as I'm only short at 5 foot. Well, firstly, make sure you subscribe to Fitness Nerds. Wink, wink. But secondly, Mr. Fox says it himself. Exercise is great. It's wonderful. Do it. I'm paraphrasing here, but he essentially says that something like 90% of weight loss is basically your diet. And guys, that's true. That is totally true. Like the majority of your weight loss is actually based on your diet. And so, yeah, we'll be going through all of that with fitness nerds. So you can say hello to a new you through nutrition, exercise, and well-being. Oh, I'm so excited for you guys to see the content Mr. Fox and I have got cooking up for you on that channel. But yeah, with that being said, guys, that is it. I'm gonna go and remind myself of what sleep is now that it's 11:30 p.m. here in good old sunny Yorkshire. Less of the sunny though, more of the Yorkshire here at the moment. So with that being said, guys, I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas, and with it being the new year in a couple of days' time, I hope you all have a wonderful New Year's Eve celebration wherever you are in the world. I hope 2025 is less of a disaster for you guys than Hazard and Megxie, because it looks like they're going to be facing a lot of upcoming disasters in 2025. Such as the ones that I've gone through in this Daily Nerd live stream earlier on. Thank you so much to all of your support throughout 2024. You know, everyone that subscribed, that watched any of my videos, liked, generous enough to join as a leader, jump into our gifting wars, send sugar bucks, just even leave comments on my videos, chat in the live chats, your super thanks, you know, every single one of you. Thank you so much for a wonderful and freaking amazing 2024 here in the Alter Nerd community on this channel. You guys are freaking amazing. Your kindness, your generosity, your understanding. I'm continually flawed every single day. I really am. So thank you so much to a wonderful 2024. 2025 is going to be freaking amazing. Hold on to your butts. We have got political nerds and fitness nerds coming next week. New content. In the meantime, you're still going to get your content here on Stef the Alter Nerd. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, there's not going to be any content whatsoever. You guys are going to be busy partying. The New Year's Day, you guys are going to get busy recovering. So do bear that in mind. But every other day, you're going to get your Daily Nerds as usual. And then next Friday, you're going to get your Daily Nerd live. There's not going to be another Royal Clubhouse. I'm not going to invite anyone for next Friday because, again, they'll just be recovering as well from New Year's. But the week after, the Royal Clubhouse will then resume. So just bear that in mind that next week on Friday it's just going to be me, but that should be good enough for you guys. And so yeah, that's pretty much going to be what's going to happen next week in terms of this channel and content. There will also be a Daily Nerd Sunday live edition, of course. But yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for a wonderful 2024. Let's have an epically awesome 2025. Have a happy new year wherever you are in the world. And until the next time, you guys. Laters. Bye.